JoinBrands, for those who don't know about us, we are a UGC creator marketplace with over 400,000, coming up on 500,000 creators in our network. These are vetted, verified creators. And essentially, what we do is we take away a lot of the pains that brands face on a day-to-day basis when it comes to building out their affiliate network.
Awesome. We are back today. I got Dan Chris on the show from JoinBrands. How you doing today?
Hey, Eric, doing well. How about you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Well, I'm very excited to have you on the show. I first met you, and you were onboarding 8-figure sellers at ByteDance, and that was how I first met you earlier this year. And now you're working at JoinBrands. That's pretty cool. Can you give me a little bit of background on your transition?
Yeah. It's been a fun journey. So I spent about 2 years working at TikTok Shop. Was bounced around across a couple of different teams, and I was working on our in our health vertical for about a year or so. Was out at the Prosper event in Vegas. That's where I met Eric and the whole team. And so yeah, working in TikTok Shop for 2 years, getting to see the development and the growth of the platform is really cool. With how fast everything moves in the TikTok Shop space. Just seeing from the day I started, from the day I finished there, it was like a night and day difference. And now being over here at JoinBrands on the agency side of things, you get a whole new different kind of perspective on it. But super exciting space to be in, and really excited to see what's ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, I just found out that TikTok or ByteDance just closed with a U.S. partner. I believe that they're still retaining 20% ownership, but I believe that they partnered with Oracle, something to that effect. So I imagine that's going to cause some ripples. And one thing I do know is that the space, it felt like musical chairs. It felt like it was probably the company that had the most growing pains out of any company that you might have worked with, and it's due to the expansion and growth. What do you think the difference will be now that they have an American partner?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having an American partner, obviously now the whole worry about TikTok being banned and taken off the App Store and all the chaos that's been going on for about the last year or so, all these this has kind of been lingering over. All that pretty much goes away. So now just the confidence of TikTok Shop as a platform moving forward, I think is clearer now more than ever. So brands, creators, agencies, anybody that's looking to get involved in the TikTok space that's maybe been a little bit hesitant before. That's kind of cleared everything up. So everything is just full steam ahead now.
Absolutely. I think that the legitimacy that we're finally getting is kind of the final stamp. But honestly, when Trump shut us down for 2 days, it was almost as if he was part of the marketing strategy of ByteDance, because it was such I think the platform doubled overnight. I think it was probably one of the wildest things that I ever seen.
Yeah, it was insane. That was a very, very interesting time to be working at TikTok. So all that's going on, and we never even missed a day of work. So everything was still smooth sailing. We didn't skip a beat. And honestly, even in that whole 48 hours or whatever it ended up being, we didn't really lose any business. GMV stayed pretty consistent because we were already at a point where TikTok has already established themselves as such a legitimate platform that even with all that going on, people were still investing in it, and we're bullish on the future.
Absolutely. I know that I was in the process of onboarding, the process of scaling, the process of this, that, and the other with many different brands. And so it was very interesting to see, but it was almost, it was like a planned marketing event. It seemed like Trump got paid as an influencer for ByteDance to kind of, it was like such a marketing ploy, but it worked out flawlessly. And the legitimacy that we now have by getting the American partner, all of those previous scared things that happened before are kind of behind us. So it's definitely exciting to see that we are here to stay. So speaking about here to stay, let's talk about JoinBrands, and let's talk about what you guys are doing and how this is going to change the market.
Yeah, absolutely. So JoinBrands, for those who don't know about us, we are a UGC creator marketplace with over 400,000, coming up on 500,000 creators in our network. These are vetted, verified creators. And essentially what we do is we take away a lot of the pains that brands face on a day-to-day basis when it comes to building out their affiliate network. So getting affiliates is one of the most important things for a brand. Affiliates make up about 80% of all TikTok Shop GMV. So they're, quite literally the life and blood of a brand and their growth. But gaining affiliates, especially if you're a newer brand that doesn't have, any kind of like winning products yet, you're not really well established, people don't really know who you are, that's when it can get really tough. But Join Brands, we make it as pretty much as easy as possible to onboard to our platform, to launch a campaign, to then have hundreds of creators come in saying that they want to work with you and apply to your campaign. And then you can, get content created, get it submitted for approval, get that posted out to their networks, and then to also grow those kinds of long-term partnerships. So we offer a couple different options. Starting from social blasts, just to get as much content as possible out there, all the way to kind of the end goal for a lot of brands and creators. We also operate on retainers as well. So if a brand wants to sign a creator to a retainer, so these creators and brands can kind of be, become synonymous and really grow together. That's the end goal, and we do all that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to say one thing that I think is kind of a stable point of TikTok, which I think is probably the most factual thing. You are only as strong as your creators.
Mm-hmm.
And so your platform helps connect brands with creators. Can you share your platform so we can kind of see and kind of run us through some of those packages and show us what it looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. We will go through a quick run through. So I'll go ahead and get my screen popped up here. So what we're looking at here, this is going to be the JoinBrands dashboard for a campaign. So this is just a demo account. So this is all just kind of made up stuff. But I'll walk you through what it looks like creating a campaign with us. Okay. So starting off in here, you're going to go ahead and start off by selecting your campaign objective. So we got a couple different options here, and I'll actually start off with what I kind of think of as the bottom of the pyramid. So social blast is going to be the bottom of the pyramid. This is the way to be able to get as much content out there in the most cost-effective way possible. So with these social blasts, you're essentially paying for a bundle of videos. So we offer that in either 10, 25, 50, or 100. So with this, you can get 100 pieces of...
Can you zoom in just a hair?
Is that okay?
Okay, sweet. Please continue.
Yep. So with these social blasts, you can effectively get 100 pieces of affiliate content from 100 different creators for $2,500. And then the brands, you have full ownership rights to those videos. So you can take that, you can cut it up, you can repurpose it elsewhere. And then you're also getting not only 100 pieces of content, but you're also getting 100 purchases on your shop. Because JoinBrands, we offer on a reimbursement system, not a free sample system, which I know that's a big value prop for brands. Because traditionally at TikTok, you send out free samples, and you cross your fingers that maybe 50% of them actually post a video. But the way that we operate, we have the creators buy the product, so you get the sales attribution, and then once they've fulfilled their obligations, their duties, and making the content in the way that you agree to, then that's when they get their sample reimbursed. So $2,500 plus the cost of samples for 100 pieces of affiliate content for a cold start brand. This is really going to be the best kind of deal you can find out there. And we make it super easy. You don't have to reach out to creators, just launch your campaign. Creators will come to you.
Well, let me ask you a few questions. So
yes,
I work for an agency and I represent many brands. And so I am actually your perfect customer. So I'm going to devil's advocate and I'm just going to ask some questions. Let me see if I understood the process correctly. So they're going to purchase the product. So it's going to get you the sales velocity, the sales on your product's going to make it look good. And then once you have approved the video, then they get reimbursed. And if you don't approve the content or they don't make the content, they never get reimbursed. That's correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So if they apply to your campaign, you approve it, then they would go in, buy the product, and for whatever reason, if they don't make the content, then you don't owe them anything, and you essentially just got a free sale on your product.
Gotcha. And then once you've approved it, you then give them the target collaboration at that time?
Yes.
Gotcha. And then they post it. And then with that, you also get the usage rights, not as an additional cost, but built into the package that you purchase. Is that correct?
Correct. That is built into the cost. That's not anything additional that you have to pay for.
Wow.
And when they make the content, so rather than they make the video and just immediately post it onto their page, they'll actually submit it on the JoinBrands dashboard for you, the brands, to look through and approve it. So when you put in your content brief, your references, kind of your whole outline of how you want the video to be, if what the video they created doesn't necessarily match up with what you're looking for, if there's any kind of tweaks or revisions that you want to make, you can actually send that video back for revisions. They'll remake the video and resubmit it to you. So it gives the brands a little bit more control as to the quality of content that's getting posted out there representing their brand.
How many revisions do you get?
So with the free plan, you get one, and then we offer a couple of different paid subscription tiers, and with each additional tier, you get more and more revisions. So you get up to 10 once you get up to the agency plan.
Well, I will say this.
We rarely see that ever happening. Usually, we don't really see anything past one revision.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Yeah, that makes sense. If you could make it so they could purchase from an actual video, that would have a lot of value for a cold start. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're going through and you're selecting your content type, so we work with a bunch of different kinds of platforms. So you can hire a creator for a TikTok campaign, TikTok Shop, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, all these different kinds of options. So if you want them to have that shoppable link where they can purchase directly from that video, then you'd hire them for, I can do it because it's a demo account, but you can hire them specifically for a TikTok Shop campaign.
And so then you would give them the link to the video and then they would purchase.
Correct.
Nice. Okay, great. Well, that package sounds amazing. And I see you're doing a very much an omni-channel approach, and you're kind of starting to see the big picture, which is very interesting because the other platforms are very up and coming, but they are the future. I believe that 2026, some of these other channels taking TikTok off of TikTok to the other platforms is going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. We like being pretty broad because we know a lot of brands like to cross-pollinate across platforms. And something that's cool as well. So if you're hiring someone for, let's say, for instance, for a TikTok job, when these creators come in and apply, you'll be looking through their profile where you can see their reviews, how many jobs they've done. You can see their previous content to kind of get an idea of how that looks. Little bio about them, but it'll also have their other social channels in there, and the stats, they're following, GMV, all that. So. Let's say you hire someone for a TikTok campaign, you're looking through their creator profile and you see, they've got a good following on Instagram too. Then that clicks like, okay, cool. You can hire them for an Instagram campaign as well. And again, that's just a way of, building and fostering those long-term relationships, is working with, all their channels.
Absolutely. I do a lot of stuff on TikTok, but I'm also doing stuff on Levanta, and I'm starting to see the cross-pollination between the creators kind of wanting to work in all ecosystems. And I think that in 2026, I think it will come together, and I think that your platform could be early in the trend. And I think that it might be very advantageous for all creators to start thinking bigger, brands specifically, start thinking about how can they be seen in more marketplaces and more social media outlets, Amazon, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. I mean, that's you need to be everywhere, and so that this seems like a very up and coming. So let's talk about the TikTok Shop. What's the next scale up? So this one I'm excited about. What do you got beyond this one?
Yeah, great question. So the next level up on the pyramid from Social Blast is going to be content plus posting. So this is going to work essentially the same way, but this is going to be generally more higher quality creators, people that have more GMV, more following, have been doing this for longer, have better more and better reviews. So Social Blast, because you're buying like a bundle and you're getting them for as little as $25 a video. These are generally going to be kind of like newer up and coming creators, which you still get a lot of great content on that. But this content plus posting, this is kind of the next step. So if you have someone from, say, a Social Blast that makes a great video, it's converting, communication is great, you can then hire them for a content plus posting. So this is going to be same thing. You get ownership rights over the videos. You're able to send a video back for revision if you would like to. And these are going to start at $100 a post. And the difference between here, though, is you're not buying these in like a bundle up front. So this is going to be strictly on a usage basis. So creating a JoinBrands account, and you can launch a content plus posting campaign, and that's not going to cost you anything. So the only time that you as the brand are going to get charged anything is when a creator, when creators apply and you actually approve a creator. Once you approve a creator, that's when that payment goes in, and JoinBrands operates kind of as an escrow company. So we then hold that money, and then we wait for the creator to fulfill all their obligations and check all their boxes before they would then get their payouts. So effectively works the same way as Social Blast, except you're only paying on a usage base, so you're not committing to a certain bundle up front. And the creators that you're going to get here are generally going to be a bit higher quality and more seasoned and more veteran.
Well, when we talk about better, typically that is broken down by GMV. So when it comes to Social Blast, what is the threshold where it becomes a content plus posting when you talk about quality of creator?
Yes, I mean, it just depends on the creator and the jobs that they're willing to take. Generally, the creators that are going to apply to a content plus posting job are ones that have generated substantial GMV, and they're not necessarily willing to do a job for $25. The Social Blasts, again, these are going to be kind of the newer up and coming creators, that don't necessarily have as much of a portfolio, not as much GMV under their belt, and so they're willing to take a little bit less money in order to build up their portfolio, build up their showcase. A lot of times in here you get a lot of good quality content because you get those creators that are new, they're eager, they're hungry, they're wanting to grow. But then the content plus posting is you're getting the people who are a little bit more proven.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in my experience of managing TikTok Shop and the brands that I've worked with, I always come back to this, but the best video that was ever made was made by somebody with 1,500 followers, and they made a video that sold 450 units in 30 minutes and continued to sell hundreds and thousands of units for months and months to come. And everybody saw the video, and when you have a viral video, everybody duplicates it and makes imitation videos, which also converted very well and led to the virality of this product that's gone on to sell 600,000 in the last 30 days. So it absolutely incredible. I'm a big fan of micro influencers and
Me too.
the hungriness, because those people haven't proven themselves, so they're willing to kind of take a cut in the cost or whatever, and just to have an opportunity for them to show what they can do. So it is interesting. Now, what's the next step? So I got $100 per post, or I can do the Social Blast. I like it. Let's say if I wanted to do even bigger, what's my next option?
Yeah. So next step up from there would be, once you're working with a creator, you've done a couple campaigns with them, their videos are converting, they're easy to communicate with. Then the next step, and kind of like the tip of the pyramid, would then be to get them on a retainer. So you can get a creator on a retainer for as little as $100 a month, and you can work that out. $100 a month for X number of videos. That's between the brand and creator to kind of negotiate. And that's also going to be on a performance or results driven basis too. So retainers is one of those interesting things where a lot of brands, like, that's kind of the goal. That's where they want to get to. But going directly through TikTok Shop doesn't have any kind of retainer program or any way to necessarily facilitate that. So most retainers these days are just done as these kind of like under the table deals, where brands don't really get a whole lot of security as to creators actually following through on what they're hired for. So here with JoinBrands, we operate on a system where it's kind of similar to the content plus posting. So you hire a creator for a retainer. Let's say you hire them for 30 videos a month. They're only getting paid out for each video that they post. So let's say, for instance, hypothetical situation, you hire someone for 30 videos, it's the end of the month and they've only posted 8 videos. They're only getting paid for those 8 videos, and you get your money back for the rest. So just another one of those key points in place to help protect brands a little bit better. But this is going to be the end goal. This is where brands want to get to this, creators want to get to this. I've even seen creators, like, they'll post on, like, they'll have on their LinkedIn profile as like a job title, brand name creator. So creators are now really, one-on-one with these brands. And that's where we see like a lot of these super viral, brands that are crushing it on TikTok. They've got a lot of these creators that are on retainer that have been working with them hand in hand for, and growing with them for a while.
Absolutely. Honestly, it's a creator's market. If you look at the numbers that the creators are making, it is ridiculous. These people are making money hand over fist. So I don't blame them. Yeah, way more than the brands. I'd put on my LinkedIn creator as well. So let me see if I got this right though. So Social Blast, we're doing it in a campaign style. We put it out there, and creators who are interested in the post, they will put their willingness in there, and then you buy it in a bulk purchase of 10, 20, something to that effect. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And the content plus pending is also done in a campaign strategy, but it's $100 per post. You don't have to buy a bulk package. You can just buy one. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, you're not committing to to a certain number of videos up front, and these are going to be generally higher quality creators that you'll get applying to this.
And you still approve every one of them, right?
Nope, that's totally up to you. So you're going to get when you launch a campaign, you're going to get literally hundreds of creators that apply to this. Creators are very eager. They're very hungry. They're looking for new partnerships to make. So when creators apply, you'll actually be able to go through all of your creator applications, and you can go through them one by one, take a look at their profile, take a look at their following, their GMV, whatever other kind of metrics that you specifically kind of want to grade on for whether you want to approve or deny them. You can then do that through there, and then you can also filter these applicants. So let's say you have 300 creators that have applied to your campaign. You can filter down based on GMV. So you can start with the people who have done the most GMV and kind of work your way down from there. But again, it totally depends on the kind of criteria that you want to use for what you're looking for in a creator. Some brands like going based off of following. They just want the creators that have the most amount of followers. So it really depends.
Absolutely. Everybody has different strategies. And so then you've got the Social Blast going, you've gone through the cold start, you're starting to do the content posting because you're trying to get some traction and momentum. And now you're at the point where you're like, I like this creator, I like that creator. How can I generate more videos? And this kind of graduates you to the next step, which would be retainers, where you're kind of building your base, your VIPs. And so that's essentially how you make the platform work. Now, in your experience with the brands that you're seeing using this platform, just to give some people some best practice, what would you say the recommended way to use your platform? Like if I was a big brand and money was not an option, what would you say the best practices would be?
I would say if you're a big brand, you've got money to spend, I would say the content plus posting is going to be the best place to go. This is where I think you're going to get a really good bang for your buck. And then with these campaigns, as you launch and as you get creators under your belt, you'll be able to keep track of their analytics, so you can see which creators, which videos are converting, which aren't, and then from there you can kind of decipher like what specifically is working. And you can even rehire creators directly from a campaign. So you have a creator, their video is crushing, it's generating GMV, it's making sales. You can just keep adding fuel to the fire. You can rehire them. You can each video comes with a Spark code, so you can spark that video too, and keep that ripping. I would say the content plus posting would be the best. If you're a big brand with money to spend, this is going to be the place to go. And then after you see affiliates that are converting consistently, then you move them over to the retainer model.
That sounds pretty awesome. What's the cost? Like if I want to come to your platform and I wanted to start using it, what's our tiered packages?
Yeah, good question. So we can pop over to that. So getting started off on JoinBrands and just making an account totally free, doesn't cost anything. And we even have a free tier where it's not going to cost you anything on a monthly basis. This is typically where we recommend most brands, especially cold start brands, get started off with. It's essentially just a pay as you go type of tier. And it gives you pretty much all the basic essentials that you need. You have access to use all different kinds of content. You can post an unlimited number of campaigns. You get access to the full creator network. So there's not necessarily certain levels of creators that are only reserved for people on the agency plan. So even on the free plan, you have access to everybody, unlimited content, and 3 creator invites. So what these creator invites are is, so as a brand, when you post a campaign, you have creators come in and apply to you. But we also have our whole creator catalog where you can browse our whole network of creators. And if you find somebody in there that you think would be a great fit for your brand, great fit for your product, and you want to work with them, but maybe they just haven't found you, you can reach out to them and essentially pitch your brand, pitch your product to them. With the free plan, you get 3 of those. That is on a per campaign basis. Reason we have that is we don't necessarily want our creators' inboxes to get completely flooded the way that they do like on TikTok, because we want to make sure that creators are reading their messages, they're replying to all their messages, and they're staying engaged with brands that are reaching out to them. That's one of those things you get more and more of those as you work your way up in tiers. And you get a couple additional perks like extended TikTok analytics, you get extended deadlines for campaigns. When you get into the agency plan, we got some white labeling sort of permissions. But I would say the biggest thing with these tiers that I like to look at is down here at the bottom is the platform fee. So with the free plan, the platform fee that JoinBrands would charge with a campaign is 15%. So let's say you're doing a content plus posting campaign for $100, it would be $115. So that platform fee, 15% for the free plan, goes down and down and down as you go up in tiers. So by the time you get to the agency plan, it's at 8%. So you're paying almost half of what you are on the free plan. So it's definitely one of those things where as you gradually grow and scale over time and you're spending more and you get more brands that you're working with, this definitely does make sense, where the savings in platform fees will eventually offset that monthly fee. And then another cool thing that you get with these different tiers is these JoinBrands coins. This essentially just represents account credits that you can use towards campaigns. So, for instance, this agency plan comes with $150 of JoinBrands coins per month. So you can kind of look at it as it's realistically like $350 a month, because it's just kind of a free $150 that you can use. And these do roll over month after month. So let's say you have a month where you maybe don't use all these. Then the next month you'll have whatever you have left plus the 150. So it'll build on top of itself, which is nice.
So the coins, they accumulate monthly?
Correct. Yeah. With these paid tiers where you get the 30, 90, 150, those will accumulate.
Wow. Okay. So the whole strategy or the whole way your platform works is on a campaign level, but depending upon the tier, it gives you the ability to reach out to individual creators depending upon the tier that you pick. And that is kind of the big differentiator that you see besides extending the deadlines and extended analytics. Is that about right? As well as the coins, of course. Yeah.
I would say the number one, I guess, value prop is going to be this platform fee.
That's right.
So I'd say platform fee, the savings in platform fee, that's number one. Number two, yeah, I would say would be the creator invites, who you can reach out to. And then from there, yeah, I'd say like everything else, the JoinBrands coins is nice. We were talking about revision requests before. So I was saying with the free plan, you get one revision request, 2, 3, 10 as you work your way up. And then collaborators is another thing that, especially on an agency level, that's something that they really like. So a collaborator refers to somebody within the brand or the agency that has access to the account to work on the account. So let's say, for instance, on the free plan, like if you were to sign up right now as a brand, you would be the only one from your end that would be able to work on this. So a lot of agencies will go on this agency plan because they usually got multiple hands that are involved. So they can have up to 10 collaborators from their end that are all working together on this.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Let me ask you a question. How many creators do you have on your platform?
Total, roughly 500,000. It's a huge network. Now, not all of those creators are going to be like TikTok Shop creators, for instance. So we actually have different certifications that we offer for creators. So those certifications include TikTok Shop, TikTok Live, Amazon, YouTube Shorts, so on and so forth. And so creators, when they come on to JoinBrands, they have to go through all these various certification processes individually in order to get approved for these service categories. So if you're launching, let's say, a TikTok Shop campaign, the only creators that are going to be able to see your campaign and apply to your campaign are people who are already TikTok Shop certified. So those are people that have a creator account. They have a certain number of videos that they've already posted. So it's not just anyone and everyone can apply to a shop campaign. So we want to make sure that your campaign and what the creators are known for and do best match up.
Yeah, I've been on many platforms that do similar services, and sometimes the biggest issue that I find is that it seems like a lot of the creators might be inactive or non-responsive. What do you guys do to fix that issue?
like in terms of like if you like messaging them or like launching campaigns.
Yeah, so like sometimes it feels like, I mean, I guess the way that yours is structured is based on a campaign level, so they come to you. So I guess that might just solve the issue,
Yeah.
unless you're reaching out to creators individually, but that's not your main model. Your main model is letting them come to you.
Right. Yeah. Creators coming to you. That's going to be the main model. That's where majority of these connections are going to come from. And then obviously, like if you're a creator, if you're the one applying to a campaign, they're constantly looking at their dashboard. They're keeping an eye on it. So they're already engaged. So these are people that are already interested in working with you. And then puts the ball into your court if you want to approve them or not. But the reaching out, the creator invites the brands reaching out to creators. That is an element of it. It's not our main element, obviously. And again, in that free plan, that's why we generally limit that number of creator invites. Because I don't know if you've seen a creator's TikTok Shop account and what their inbox looks like, but it is bananas. I had a creator account. I made a couple of videos here and there. Had a couple hundred followers. Really nothing's crazy at all. And even then, I was getting probably 50, 60 messages a day. From all these.
Absolutely, yeah. I got 10,000 followers on TikTok and
Yeah, so
been making videos, and yeah, it gets crazy. I definitely understand. Well, I just want to let you know, yeah, I'm sold on your platform. That seems pretty amazing. I think that I need to put it to the test, and I think that that's really where a platform kind of gets its value, is when you put the rubber to the road. And I know that we've already met prior to this and kind of showed me about a particular package, and so I definitely know that I'm definitely going to sign up. Is there any offer that you could give somebody if they hadn't tried the platform? I guess they would try the free version. That would be the way to go.
Yeah, I would say get started on the free version. Again, making an account and launching your first campaign isn't going to cost you anything. If you did the social blast, then you pay for it up front. But just setting up an account, super easy to do. It takes a couple minutes. From there, you can kind of click around to get an idea for how the platform works. Look at how a campaign is launched. So a couple of different things that you'll go through is when you launch a campaign, you'll give a content brief. So this is going to be the primary thing that creators are going to use where they're getting an idea of how you want the video to be structured. So I usually tell people in the content brief is to be as descriptive as possible without giving them like a word for word script, because you still want to allow the creators to have some sort of creative freedom when they're making the video. But any kind of like key points you want them to hit on, anything that you want them to maybe like avoid saying. So be pretty specific in here. Another cool thing that you can give creators is we actually just rolled out the performance bonuses. So if you want to give the creator like a little like accelerator or a bonus based on whatever metric you would like. So let's say for if you're doing a TikTok Shop campaign, you can select a GMV and say something along the lines of like, hey, if this video generates $500 of GMV, we'll give you an extra $50 bonus, something like that. And you can do that with likes, with comments, with engagement rate. Because I know there's different kind of different benchmarks that different brands have. So that's a really cool feature. You put in your source file, so any kind of like brand assets, images, videos, just any other kind of piece, any other kind of ammo that'll help the creator. Captions, so any kind of hashtags you want them to use, any kind of pages you want them to tag. You put that in here, as well as references. So this is going to be like if you have a video that either like you guys made yourselves, a creator made for you, and that's kind of like the golden egg. That's what you want to use as kind of the model for how you want your content to look. You can submit that in here just for creators to kind of get a little bit of inspiration, get a kind of a better idea of what you're looking for. So between that reference video, between these references and the content brief, gives them a pretty good understanding of what you're looking for. Yeah, that's kind of the meat and bones of setting up a campaign. So again, that's totally free to do. You launch the campaign, and then from there, creators will start flooding in.
That's awesome. That seems very straightforward, and I definitely know that the game on TikTok is how can you gamify everything, and so having those incentives and bonuses for likes, for whatever those metrics may be that you're trying to hit. I definitely know that is the game on TikTok. It's very financial, very money motivated. It's all about how can you create a game that the creators win and the brand wins, and that's typically when everybody wins. And so it's nice to see that you guys are doing that. Let me ask you a question before we sign off. Where do you see JoinBrands in 2026, and where do you see TikTok going, and how does that all come together?
Yeah, I mean, TikTok, has been and I think will be for the foreseeable future a creator first platform. So I think we're really at the forefront. We're really at the forefront of that. Our creator network is growing by the day. So that's 500,000 and climbing. Brands, we have well over 40,000 brands that are working with us. So I think the kind of impact that creators have on a brand, we'll continue to work on that. I know we've got a couple other exciting initiatives coming up in 2026. Can't share those quite yet, but we've got a lot of really cool stuff in the works. That's gonna be great for both brands and creators. And as for TikTok, like what we were talking about before with with that recent merger acquisition, by the U.S. and the Oracle and Silver Lake. I think TikTok is only going to continue growing. I think live is going to continue evolving. I know that's been a big initiative, and that's something that you can do on JoinBrands as well. You can hire a live creator to go live for you. So I think that'll continue to really make big strides as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think lives are going to be huge in 2026. I'm very excited. Well, Dan, I really appreciate you taking the time and showing the platform, and I'm excited to start using it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you for watching. I am a team lead at Bullseye Sellers. I've been in the Amazon and TikTok space for over 10 years, and I've worked with over 100 brands, helping them generate over 100 million in sales. On this channel, I'm going to share real strategies and growth hacks to help you scale your Amazon brand and TikTok shop. If you would like help, please book a free strategy call with our team. A calendar link will be in the description. As well as, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.